Welcome back to the FIM Supermoto World Championship. The 2023 season will see new and returning venues on the calendar, but we start things off in the same place as we did last year, the Piemonte region. Situated in the Italian northwest, the Piemonte region is host to incredible historic cityscapes and unique countryside retreats. Of course, the capital city, Turin, is a highlight, but the entire region is rich with history, architecture, art, and stunning food. Piemonte is a must-visit area and the perfect place to start our 2023 FIM Supermoto World Championship. The 2022 champ is back. Mark Schmidt will defend his title.
Finally, we are here back for racing for the 2023 season. I'm super happy to be here. I can't wait for the season start. Last year I made a couple of mistakes. I tried to do it better for this season, and then I think I can do it. We had a great fight last year till the last race with Tom and Lucas, and I did it twice in a row. My goal is to do it 3 times in a row, so I'm here to make another championship. I'm ready for battle and full gas and push the throttle.
The Busca layout is certainly one with many challenges. There is no dirt here, rather a paved technical action section, as well as a spectacular banked corner towards the end of the lap that truly takes the breath away from trackside. The layout is just over 1.6 kilometers in length. An easy walk then. Let's take a stroll with Yuri Catherine and Elia Sammartin.
This is the most important spectacular part of the Busca track, the sky section. There is 2 different lines, outside and inside, but is most fast the inside line. This corner enter is important to take a good speed for enter in the second corner on the left, because it's important to take a good speed for make a double and double in this wave, and on the race it's possible in this part overtaking another rider.
We are in the middle section of the track, and here we find the banked curve. We arrive very fast and we have to try and stay in the central part of the corner to keep the speed high. We go out very fast, enter the straight at full speed, and then brake for the next right. It turns out our tour guides weren't feeling the tempo of a casual wander, so let's get them to the start line for a guide lap. Off the line, and it's a fairly wide run to turn 1, so 2 and 3 wide situations will be easy to come by on the opening lap. It's only a short blast of throttle between turn 2 and 3, where you brake sharply and head towards the jumps. Most riders opt to avoid the berm here and take the inside. Quite a tight hairpin here after the tabletop before once again building speed through the following corner. Over the waves and back onto the main circuit. If you're too eager on power application here, it will be costly, but a fast line through this left-hander could provide an opportunity for an overtake at the near 180-degree right that follows. Onto the back straight, the riders will hunker down before sharply sitting back up in the saddle for the right-hander that follows. Even though you can still carry some good speed at the apex, a hairpin left sets you up for this superb bank section. It never fails to raise my hairs. I can only imagine how this feels on lap 1. The tight right-hander following the banking is one of the most common overtaking opportunities at this circuit. A sequence of S-bends follows that, with the corners steadily getting tighter. Unlikely to see much passing here, but perhaps some last lap hubris will see that logic discarded. Good momentum through this corner will grant one last overtaking opportunity at the end of the lap before you get back on the throttle to cross the line here at Busca. The SM Juniors are back for 2023, with Matej Koks returning to defend his title.
This season will be much harder than the last season because the riders have been training the whole winter. So there will be faster riders than the last season. I've done my best during the winter. I didn't get any bad injuries, bad falls, so I didn't get a broken bone. So that is a plus, because now I can ride good. The riders here are super fast. The top 3 in the warm-up is super fast. My friend David Beretsky was second, and after him was my second friend Andrea Benvenuti. I will do my best to win, and if it won't go well, at least I will be healthy.
Race 1 of the season then, and it's Thomas Charret, the 8-time champ, on pole alongside Mark Reiner-Schmidt and Marcus Klaas. Steve Bonnell on row 2 alongside Yuri Katerin and Lucas Hullbacher on row 2. Milan Sitniansky, Giovanni Basai and Tim Zalai on row 3. Elias Sammartin on the 4th row alongside Andreas Buschberger and Andrea Stucci. A packed grid once again then for the beginning of the 2023 Supermoto season, and we're underway. It's a good start from Charret, a good start also from Hullbacher. From 6th on the grid, he leads. Whole shot Hullbacher has done it again, but there goes Thomas Charret. Mark Reiner-Schmidt trying to find a way through as well. He remains in 3rd place. Yuri Katerin side by side with Steve Bonnell there as well, further back in the pack. But it is Thomas Charret, the 8-time world champion, potentially the greatest of all time in Supermoto, leading us away in the early stages. Steve Bonnell in the TC4R1 number 3 in 6th place, but the champ has gone down. Oh, on the very first lap of the season we just saw there, Mark Reiner-Schmidt has gone down. He also held up Marcus Klaas. Up the inside goes Steve Bonnell for 3rd place. Oh, and Lucas Hullbacher. Lucas Hullbacher down as well. The very first lap of the 2023 Supermoto World Championship season. And look at the lead that Thomas Charret has. In what universe would anyone have predicted such a lead for Thomas Charret on the first lap up against such a strong field? But who would have guessed the champion from last year, this man, Mark Reiner-Schmidt, would put a foot wrong this early? He's managed to get up into 5th place there. We ride on board with Milan Sitniansky in 6th position. But to say that lap was far from smooth at the very beginning of the race is an understatement. Last year's big 3, Hullbacher, Schmidt and Charret. And it's only this man, Charret, that was left standing at the end of the first lap. Both Schmidt and Hullbacher have continued. Milan Sitniansky on the TMS tuning number 121. Down in 6th place, but I think he's got someone up the inside there. Yes. I think that might have been Marcus Klaas going through as well. Looks like Sitniansky might be nursing a problem because he's lost a couple of positions in quick succession. He's now drifting wide and losing another spot. That's the number 13 of Tim Zalai going past. Sitniansky down to 9th place, and it seems as though Czech rider is either out of the groove or nursing a problem. Meanwhile, the fight for 2nd place, Steve Bonnell on the number 3. Leading Mark Reiner-Schmidt, Marcus Klaas on the Husqvarna also involved in this. It's an all TM factory racing top 3. And then the Husqvarna in 4th place. Steve Bonnell then holding off Mark Reiner-Schmidt, but for how long? Well, the answer is not long at all, because Schmidt goes up the inside for 2nd place. Will Marcus Klaas follow through? Certainly not into this corner. You can see that he's keeping a close eye on the movements of Steve Bonnell. Lap 5 of 15 in this race. And Mark Reiner-Schmidt is up into 2nd place. Surely, though, the gap between himself and Thomas Charret is too much to overcome. We've seen Schmidt pull off some amazing rides in the 2022 season on the way to that well-deserved world title, but surely this is a bridge too far. Thomas Charret had a huge advantage at the end of lap number 1, and it's almost like he's on a private test day out there at the moment. He'll find some lap traffic before the end of the race, I'm sure. Meanwhile, we catch up with Lucas Hurlbacher, who is now in 7th position on the back of Elia Sammartin. Let's see if he can get past Sammartin for 6th place. Slides it up the inside, coming off the banking. Nicely done from the rider of the MTR KTM number 72. MTR working hard in the off-season. Now an AMA Supermoto champion, Lucas Hurlbacher. Milan Sitnianski, meanwhile, working his way back up the order by the looks of it. He's now fighting up against Tim Zalai, so whatever problem or whatever issue he had momentarily seems to have lapsed. There's Hurlbacher up over the tabletop, but Thomas Charret has cruised this one home, and with just one corner to go, it will be Tom Charret that takes the first win of the 2023 season, and in what fashion? Amazing ride from the number 4.
Yeah, I'm super happy, because it was a difficult winter for me. I have a knee injury during 2 months. I not ride, so I restart at the beginning of March. So it was very strange for me, and now I'm back. I'm very happy, and it was a very good day for me.
So there you see Thomas Charret, the early points leader after one race of the season. That 8-time world champion, always in the hunt for number 9. Plenty of riders looking back on day 1 of the season then with optimism, not least of which Thomas Charret, our 8-time world champion, who took the first ever Metzler Superpole Award. Metzler, our new tyre supplier for 2023. And well, it's a good thing Metzler make good tyres, because it is treacherous out there for the fast race, and it's another good start from Lucas Hurlbacher. Hurlbacher, though, loses the rear end and goes down at the very first corner of the first lap. Another rider down in the back of shot as well. We ride on board with Steve Bonnell, and look at Lucas Hurlbacher. The rear end of the bike just got away from him. Such difficult conditions, and Hurlbacher has to work his way up from 31st. Thomas Charret then is your leader. Mark Reiner-Schmidt in 2nd place. I believe in 3rd is Steve Bonnell. Yes, Steve Bonnell there in 3rd. Charret and Schmidt are top 2. Of course, Schmidt hit the deck on the very first lap of the season in race number 1 yesterday. And he will be looking not to emulate that today, but with standing water like that, everyone is being pushed to their limits. These are the best Supermoto riders in the world, and they're earning their keep on this morning. That much is for certain. There we see Bonnell in 3rd place. Oh, and someone else down, Daniele Di Cicco. Tumbling down the order, here's Honda. Still in one piece, he'll get back on. But just staying on the fat bit of the tyre is difficult in these conditions. Huge pack of bikes coming through, and there is Lucas Hurlbacher. So Hurlbacher still running at speed, which is good to see, after he went down at the very first corner. Charret then, of course, early points leader after just one race of the season, and again, that standing water on the inside of the first corner, catching out Mark Reiner-Schmidt momentarily. Steve Bonnell riding nicely here. I'd say he's got the least to prove. He's got 2 titans ahead of him in the form of Charret and Schmidt. If he can be the 3rd part of the fast race rostrum, that's going to look great on his record. You see yellow flags out almost perpetually. A lot of riders struggling in these conditions. Charret, though, the professor of Supermoto, doing a good job at the moment. You ride on board with Milan Sitnianski. He is following Yuri Katarin on the 15. Katarin just keeping ahead of the check for now, but a big snap there again Another example of the limited, almost zero traction in these wet conditions. You can see the standing water puddling on certain parts of this circuit. With all the will in the world, and all the technology in the world, all the developments, the bikes, the tyres and everything else, these conditions are always going to be the type that set apart the experienced riders from the rookies. Steve Bonnell then in third position. Yellow flags out at turn 1. Oh, and Steve has gone down himself. Oh, goodness me. Steve Bonnell hastily picks the bike back up, and he's got quite a lead over 4th place, and it's enough that he can pick the bike up and keep going. So Steve Bonnell hasn't been resting on his laurels in the slightest, and he'll be thankful for that because he remains in third position. Thomas Charret remains in the lead. Mark Reiner-Schmidt in second position. Charret with just over 3 laps to go. Crosses the start-finish line. And as we take a look at this wide angle, look at the left of your screen. Rider down, and it's Thomas Charret because Mark Reiner-Schmidt has taken the lead. Mark Reiner-Schmidt with less than 3 laps to go has taken the lead. Charret has gone down at turn 1. Seemingly nearly everyone in this race has been caught out by that first corner at some point. And now Mark Reiner-Schmidt is just a lap or so away from the win. Charret has picked up the bike and continued on his way. He'll be annoyed with himself for that mistake, with which Mark Reiner-Schmidt has every intention of capitalising. He's clear at the front of the order. He's got no competition behind. And on the final lap of the race, our 2022 world champion tiptoes around the final corners, and we'll see the checkered flag first. It's a race win for Mark Reiner-Schmidt. Great job from the German racer. He takes the win in the fast race then from Thomas Charret, Steve Bonnell, Marcus Klaas and Elias Sammartin.
It was a very good race for me. I tried to make a good rhythm. I stay safe on the bike. Tom was pushing a little bit too much and he crashed, so I make all good. I learned from my mistakes from the last year, and I'm super happy to win this race, and I'm ready for the super final. I will push a little bit more to make it, to make the overall. I'm ready, and see you there.
So then, Charret and Schmidt tied on points going into the final race of the Grand Prix of Piemonte. Steve Bonnell, Marcus Klaas and Elias Sammartin are top 5. Lucas Hullbacher, though, all the way down in 6th. The super final has Mark Reiner-Schmidt on pole position, Thomas Charret and Steve Bonnell on row 1 with him, Marcus Klaas, Elias Sammartin and Milan Sitnianski on row 2, Yuri Katarin, Andreas Buschberger and Lucas Hullbacher on row 3, Lucas Diodato, Romeo Fiorentino and Roman Kivers rounding out our top dozen. As we get started, the conditions have not abated much at all. As we run towards the first corner, it is Thomas Charret on pole position. Everyone at the sharp end of the order, clean through the first turn. I think we do have slightly drier conditions than what we had earlier in the morning for the fast race, which hopefully means things are marginally less treacherous for our riders this time around. It is Thomas Charret then that leads. Schmidt in second place, Steve Bonnell in third. Bonnell keeping a watching brief. He's been up there at the sharp end of the order all weekend long. And if he keeps that consistency going, Bonnell could certainly be a contender at the sharp end of this year's championship. We've seen him come along nicely. Bonnell's still a rookie class runner as well. He has been dominating the rookie class standings in this weekend thus far. Certainly in conversation for the overall title considerations too. Meanwhile, we saw there Milan Sitnianski under pressure from Lucas Hullbacher, and down there has gone Yuri Katarin. And that looked like quite a heavy hit. He's back up. Immediately tries to retrieve his bike, but that was not a nice place for Yuri to go down. There is Lucas Hullbacher on the 72. Still trying to make his way through the order. Thomas Charrer and Mark Reiner Schmidt first and second place. And Charrer once again just controlling this race, of course. He went down in the first race. He won't want to repeat that here. He'd very much like to start his attempt at a 9th world title with a win in the Grand Prix of Piemonte. Milan Sitnianski, the first to take the Joker lap, of course, which is exclusive to this third and final race. He loses a position to Lucas Hullbacher as a result of that. But everyone has to take the Joker lap once in this race. Nice added twist for the third race of each Supermoto World Championship weekend. Steve Bonnell on the 3 in P3. Very lonely. I'm not sure he's after any company at the moment. If he's after company after the weekend, we'll buy him a cat, but for now he's doing fine. Out there on his own in third position. We saw Hullbacher in the back of shot making up positions. We've got a rider off ahead of him. Not sure who that was, but I don't think it was a lead contender. But it sounds as though Bonnell is taking it easy, doesn't it? Of course, they're still not using the banking in that middle section of the circuit. So a slower approach to the tight right-hander than usual. Charrer picking his way through the traffic masterfully, already on lap 11 of the race. He's just got to keep the bike up for a few more laps, and he will narrowly take the Grand Prix of Piemonte over this man, Mark Reiner Schmidt, who starts his title defence. Certainly not badly, but he has gone down twice. Or rather, he's gone down once and taken a race win. He'll be rueing his mistake in race 1. He'll be happy with that second race. And second in the championship coming out of the first weekend is surely more than enough for Mark Reiner Schmidt to be positive. But the man with the best feeling of all after the first weekend of the season will be Thomas Charrer. He takes the win, and you can see how much it means to him. Charrer proving that he is still one of the all-time greats in this paddock. Mark Reiner Schmidt in second place, Steve Bonnell, Lucas Hullbacher in fourth, Milan Sitnianski, Elias Sammartin fifth and sixth place in that race. And this is what it does to the Grand Prix standings themselves. Charrer will leave with the red plate, Schmidt in second, Steve Bonnell in third. Lucas Hullbacher bounces back to fourth, but he won't be impressed with the number of points he has dropped today. Steve Bonnell, also the first of the rookie class riders, and will take third overall, much to his delight, I'm sure. Second place, Mark Reiner Schmidt on the number 1 bike. He won't have the red plate for round number 2 because it's going to go to this man. Thomas Charrer has once again established himself as a title contender in this season. It's an all TM Racing top 3 as well. The TM bikes once again proving to be a competitive package as the Piemonte councillor Franco Graglia hands the trophy to Charrer. Our FIM Chief Steward, Hamad Al-Saif, provides the red plate to Charrer as well. Happy times for the Frenchman.
Yeah, it was an incredible weekend for me. I feel very good. I love this track, and yeah, it's the best start possible. I just make a mistake in the fast race, but I won the GP. I have the red place, so new team. Thanks for everybody, Arwan, my family. So see you in Sardinia.
So it's Thomas Charret with a 6-point lead in the championship heading into round number 2. Steve Bonnell, Lucas Halbacher, Elias Sammartin, Milan Sitnianski, your top 6. Steve Bonnell, the leading of the rookie class contingent as well. As we head to the next race, we head south and cross the sea for the Grand Prix of Sardinia.